Oh, this looks wonderful.
People ask me all the time, when did the idea of Ren and Stimpy come about? I used to draw this retarded cat. He was somewhat influenced by the Bob Clampett cats in a cartoon called Gruesome Twosome, which was a Tweety Bird cartoon. And they had these really cool-looking cats with big bulbous noses. And it was a cartoon done in the mid-'40s, but it was a throwback to 30s cartoons when everybody had big bulbous noses with a shine on them. And I thought that was a really cool style. Around that same time, I found this postcard of a Chihuahua with a sweater on. It's a very funny picture because here's this psychotic-looking monster in a cute sweater. And that just right away was a concept in my head that I thought was hilarious. I thought, what a great character that would be. So I used to draw caricatures of this insane Chihuahua. And then I would do this Peter Lorre voice and I'd act him out. I'm here to murder your baby. Joel Feiner, who I worked with, he suggested one day, why don't you put that Chihuahua character with your cat character? And I thought, okay, that's a good idea. While I was working for all the crummy studios in LA in the 80s, doing shows that I hated and that everyone that worked on hated, I kept having this dream that someday I would sell something of my own, which was insane at the time. Animation wasn't done like that in the 1970s and the 1980s.
We want a new toy!
Well, let's have a look. It's logged for girls.
They just had the weirdest way of going about deciding what to make a cartoon about. One way was a toy company would say, we're making this ugly toy here, and you have to make a cartoon series about it. But that was the environment that I still believe that I'm going to sell my weird ideas. And Ren and Stimpy was a weird damn idea, and I had even weirder ideas than that. Took about 9 years to sell it. And luckily for me, and for the whole industry, Nickelodeon was very open to what they thought was a new concept, the creator-driven cartoon. And they promoted the hell out of this idea, creator-driven cartoons, cartoons actually made by cartoonists, as if this was some new amazing invention. Musician-driven music, let's have that.
There's a new face in Hollywood today. It's fresh, it's redundant. Let's give him a warm welcome because his whole career depends on this next important message.
So Ren and Stimpy sold, and all of a sudden creator-driven cartoons are everywhere.
I begged John to be on it. I was a director on Tiny Toons at Warner Brothers, and but you know, the real action was happening at Spumco with John. It was just eye-opening, a shocking experience that John was so far ahead of everybody else in the business.
Let's call him Old Wrinkly Cock. We just tried all kinds of things. Everybody would pitch in gags. You didn't have to be a storyboard artist to pitch in gags or a writer. If we thought of jokes along the way, we'd add them. Just every step of the way we would add jokes.
Excuse me, Ren. It's time
I was in layout, which is not normally considered a creative stage. And for John, he considered it one of the most creative stages. John comes from a sort of layout background.
There's no stage of the production where you're not allowed to be creative in a Spumco cartoon, unlike most cartoons.
You could have a scene refused if it just lacked magic. You're going, but John, this is, I thought this is what you asked for. Yeah, but it's not there. It doesn't grab me. It's not exciting. You know, I need something with excitement. You know, what are you giving me this for? But I'll tell you, it was wonderful to be at a studio which had such high standards.
They think I'm crazy, but I know better. It is not I who am crazy. It is I who am mad. Didn't you hear him? Didn't you see the crowds? Oh, my beloved ice cream bar. How I love to lick your creamy center. Ow!
Ren's personality started as just basically a ripoff of Peter Lorre. I just loved Peter Lorre. He was a great actor and a funny actor. He's not supposed to be funny, but he is funny. But he's also brilliant. He's very subtle and extreme at the same time. I love characters who are extreme yet subtle at the same time.
Oh, no!
They make broad gestures and things like that. If you look at the expressions they're doing, and when they move from one expression to the next, there's a million little things going on.
No, you don't. You can't take it from me now. I've had this ice cream bar since I was a child. People always trying to take it from me. Why won't they leave me alone?
all this extra stuff, extra coloring that flavors what's going on. So it's not just a generic statement of excitement.
John has a philosophy of never repeating a drawing, never repeating a gag. As a matter of fact, if you do a real nice drawing for him that just happens to duplicate something that's been done before, he'll throw it out.
Every retarded character in cartoon history pretty much had the same voice. Which way did he go, George? Which way did he go? And that's the instinct. You've heard that so many times. You get sucked into the cliches.
Don't you know cartoons will ruin your mind? Look what it's done to your brain.
I didn't want Stimpy to have that voice, but I couldn't think of another voice that would work for him. So I hired Billy West. I knew I wanted Billy West as part of the show because he had worked on the Beanie and Cecil show with me, and he was this great impressionist, and he did all these funny voices. So I'm sure he tried the Which Way Did He Go, George type of voice, and I don't remember what other voices. I think I just had him wing a bunch of voices. Nothing seemed to be clicking. And then I remembered he did a voice, I don't know what kind of character it was a weasel or something, for Beanie and Cecil, and he did Larry Fine's voice from the Three Stooges. And I thought that was amazing that somebody could do Larry Fine's voice.
One day he said, well, I'm thinking of two characters that have, one has a voice like Peter Lorre, the other has a voice like Larry Fine. And I remember thinking, oh, poor John, he's lost it. He was good up till now, but they exist in two different worlds. You can't make that work together. And I gave John some advice. John, from a friend, it'll never work.
What is it, man? Oh, please, can I talk in the next house? Can I, huh? Oh, please, can I?
It was real weird because here's this youthful type of character. He seems like a little kid, right? In his personality, but he's got this full-grown Jewish man's voice. I don't know why it worked, but it sounded hilarious that he had that personality with a man's voice. And as we wrote stories with Stimpy and as Billy did more episodes, he started adding more color to the voice, just like I was adding to Ren. He'd bring some more sympathy to the voice and more subtleties and things like that. And then it evolved away from Larry Fine. Sometimes it would evolve too far away from Larry Fine. And it became like too much like a little kid. And I'd have to keep pulling Billy back and saying, Billy, remember Larry. Start from Larry. Get that man sound again, because that makes the sympathy even funnier. I teamed him with Ren. The first thing I used to say about him was that he only had one nerve ending, and you had to hit it really hard for him to feel anything. And when he did feel something, he liked it.
You fat, bloated idiot! You were!
You hit him with a baseball bat or something, and if he managed to feel it, he would be in love with you. Then he started to evolve as we wrote the stories. You know, he's ambitious. He doesn't know he's an idiot.
Gritty kitty ain't so pretty, but it's really thick.
He writes a poem, a gritty kitty litter poem, just so bad. And I actually know a guy like this, a guy who's very ambitious, but he's not the shiniest apple on the tree, you know? But boy, he's gonna run the world one day.
I may not be the president, I may not be the Pope, but as long as I have Gritty Kitty, I shall never mope.
Nowadays, things tend to be super generic. Happy as, sad as, and that's it. You know, they might have perplexed. Well, there's a million versions of happy and sad and perplexed, and then there's all these other kinds of emotions that don't have labels, but you can draw them.
Don't touch it! It's the history eraser button, you fool!
So what'll happen?
That's just it.
We don't know.
He would come up with these expressions that were absolutely unique. They were all hyphenated expressions. Nobody was just mad or sad or angry. You had bemused, whimsical, sad.
I urge my artists all the time to never draw an expression that they've drawn before. I say, you're not allowed. If I've seen that expression before, erase it.
He will not repeat himself. And the one way to get into a lot of trouble if you're working at Spumco is to repeat things that have been done before. You must innovate. There were many times when I would come up with something and I'd say, oh, this is really good. Even John will have to admit that I did better than he would, with this. And I'd bring it into him and I'd put it under him. He would just stare at it. And he would say, why didn't you do this? And with no pre-thought, he would just draw something that will one day be in the Louvre, no doubt.
People write me all the time and ask me whether Ren and Stimpy are gay. Gay couples love Ren and Stimpy, and they tell me they identify with their trials and how they get into big fights all the time, and then they end up in this act again together, and I'm like, what are you talking about? I don't know whether they're gay or not. That's their own business. I go back to the old tradition of comedy where you work on the personalities of the characters and then just put them in any situation that you want. That's what I like about Ren and Stimpy, is the personalities are strong enough that you can just do any type of story we can come up with, they'll work in.
That, combined with the gross jokes and stuff like that, is what made it work.
Now available on DVD. What would you do if everything you thought was real turned out to be fake? If a team of producers and actors created an entire world around you? If it was filmed 24 hours a day and put on national television? Well, that's exactly what happened to this guy. Meet Matt Kennedy Gould. He thought he was joining 8 other contestants on a reality show called Lap of Luxury. He thought he was competing in challenges for $100,000. He had no idea that hundreds of people created an alternate reality just for him. Welcome to the Joe Schmo Show. 8 actors were hired to be Matt's housemates. They all moved into a multi-million-dollar mansion loaded with cameras. Every scenario was completely mapped out. Every cast member performing for the one guy who thinks it's all real.
This place is starting to drive me crazy.
On this DVD, not only can you find deleted scenes, you'll watch the first season completely uncensored, like you've never seen it before.
Hands on a high-priced hooker. Touch that hooker!
Go behind the scenes with commentary from the cast and crew.
And I walked right out of that house, spit on the door, walked right to the trailer and watched on the monitor what he says about me. I was so excited to do it.
Discover what those worldwide delicacies were really made of.
Testicles of the Prince Barnard TT monkey.
That was actually a Japanese pickled cherries.
We don't eat balls.
And hear Matt's commentary on the shocking finale.
Dr. Pat voting for the Hutch, that was the most surprising thing to me.
I grew up at Hutch.
Someone in this room is not who they say they are.
Are you an actor? Are you an actor?
Everything I
Hold the phone. Are you an actor?
What is going on?
The Joe Schmo Show, Season 1, Uncensored. Now available on DVD.
Now available on DVD from Comedy Central. Pick it up. It's for you.
Hello?
I got mail, yay!
You know what it's like making love to a 600-pound woman?
You do not have to talk to me like that.
It's Crank Yankers Season 1, Uncensored. You haven't picked up the phone in the same way since.
Thomas, you've entered the phone zone. We know you want to play.
You call me once more at this number, you will be fined $2,000.
You can win $2,000 on the phone zone.
See how the phenomenon began.
What listing?
Batman.
Is that a business, sir?
Residence.
Nothing residential.
He lives in a lair.
Relive those infamous first calls of all your favorite Yankerville puppets, including Special Ed.
I want to go to Hawaii, yay!
Spoonie Love.
What about the Donka?
Mushu.
I want Tupac album. We love Tupac.
And Elmer.
I'm gonna give you a kiss, darling.
Okay, I'll be waiting.
I like to use the tongue.
And all these calls will be uncensored for the very first time.
My dad will fire your mother ass. Now what is your damn name. Motherfucker, my motherfucking man supposed to be here, you stupid son of a bitch.
Don't be talking. In their uncensored glory, Crank Yankers will leave you gasping. They didn't just do that.
I want you to grab a jar of that man gravy, and I want it all over my behind.
Oh, yes, they did. Crank Yankers, Season 1 Uncensored. Now available on DVD. Pick one up. It's for you. Now available on DVD from Comedy Central.
I'm Jerry. Street name? Spread 'em thighs.
Jerry Blank is not your average high school freshman.
I'm feeling free. How you feeling?
A little nauseous. And this is not your average after-school special.
I'm being sexually harassed. Well, congratulations. Someone finds you sexual enough to harass.
It's the complete third season of Strangers with Candy.
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
You're a fat, ugly pig.
I got you right in the cranberry.
Get out. Class is over.
The bell didn't even ring.
In its final season, the series tackles delicate issues.
I have an STDs.
There's a shocker.
Do a lot of the people die of syphilis?
Oh, absolutely. Historically, syphilis is right up there with Germans.
And matters of the heart.
You want to make out?
Oh, Laird.
What about your self-respect?
I've recently learned something about self-respect. I don't have any.
Hide in the dumpster. I'll be out later.
I'll be there.
Starring Amy Sedaris as Jerry.
Let's cut the chatter and get back to slapping.
And Paul Danello and Stephen Colbert as her fun-loving teachers.
This thing is a hoot! God, you're lucky!
Plus, never-before-seen bonus material and outtakes from all 3 seasons.
Hi, I'm Chuck Knoblet.
Ooh, Chuck. You know what that rhymes with.
Strangers with Candy.
Why don't I grab some nail polish and we can paint each other's clitorises?
The complete third season, now available on DVD from Comedy Central.
Get out of the kiddie pool. Take a dip in the danger zone.
Coming soon to DVD from Comedy Central.
DVD? We don't own a DVD player. Yeah, dude, nobody does. They're too expensive.
Not too expensive for Token's rich-ass family, apparently.
We've all got DVD players now, and we're so ready for South Park, the complete 5th season.
All right!
I'm so happy!
South Park Season 5. The world was changing.
You don't have a gas mask, you're gonna get smallpox or anthrax.
What? I don't want to get the thrax, fellas.
The boys had to deal with conflict abroad.
Oh, dude, it's called deodorant, okay? It's not expensive.
And trouble here at home. Season 5 also included the groundbreaking episode. But it wasn't all fun and games as the boys had to deal with the real death of Kenny.
So, Kenny, if you could have one wish, what would it be?
He said his wish is not to die.
And what if you could have 2 wishes?
Mourn thee not, DVD collectors. This set's got moments that will leave you wondering.
Is it possible that you can see something so funny that it ruins your sense of humor forever?
It's quite possible.
Maybe things are finally gonna start getting more sophisticated around here.
But don't count on that.
I'll kick you in the nuts, Kenny!
South Park, the complete 5th season, coming soon to DVD.
Dude, check it out. This is the sweetest thing I've ever done.
And don't forget these other South Park titles to make your collection complete.
Coming soon to DVD from Comedy Central. When there's danger on the streets and evil is everywhere, the only solution is circumcised.
Who's the certified circumcised dick that's a sex machine to all the chicks?
Shabbat shalom, mama.
Adam Goldberg is the Hebrew Hammer.
Santa's been rubbed out by his evil son, Damien.
I'm Santa now!
In less than 24 hours, Hanukkah will be no more.
We have to put into place an agent. The Hebrew Hammer.
True confirmation test initiated.
Ooh, that's cold.
Circumcision confirmed.
He's a master of disguise.
You're the guy who stole Hanukkah.
The Hebrew Hammer!
He's a ladies' man.
I want you to talk dirty to me.
I want to have lots of children by you. I want to get a good paying, stable job.
Yeah.
I want for our children to go to private schools.
Yes, keep going, keep going.
Excuse me, children. He plans on personally canceling Christmas.
Attention Kmart shoppers, there are Jews in aisle 12.
Judy Greer,
There's a reason they called him the Hebrew Hammer.
Oh, kiss me, you Semitic stallion.
Mario Van Peebles,
You know, you tie it in. You don't have to hold on. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I knew that.
and Andy Dick,
Someone's gonna get everything they want for Christmas this year. Next!
the Hebrew Hammer. Coming soon to DVD. And don't you worry, we're including plenty of DVD extras. Shalom.
For bad, bold, big-nosed biblical brother.